My name's Owen. I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants campaign.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Krasus, Antares, a Astral Elf Wizard.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael. I'm playing Tetra Knight, Circle Stars Druid.
Hi, my name's Claire. I am playing Nauthiz, or Now, who is a Dwarven-forged fighter.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Druid.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Niles Silverwind, the monk Owlin.
Hello!
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and we are playing Return of the Giants, our homebrew 5th edition D&D campaign. Joining me tonight are most of the players. Obviously, for those of you who can see the cameras, you can see Ali and Dave on and active. Jared is joining us tonight, but unfortunately, every time you think I'm going to say Return of the Jedi, it's tempting. I almost have said that once or twice. Jared is here tonight. You will have heard his lovely voice just then, but unfortunately Jared's knee is causing some grief once again. So Jared is no camera. We're hoping that being in a more comfortable prone position will mean that your leg is not causing you some grief, Jared. So camera off for tonight. We'll hopefully keep you nice and safe and immobile. I've talked to Steph. She's bought some chains from Bunnings. She's on her way back. It's all going to be sorted in a minute. Don't worry.
Wait, no, this sounds a bit alarming, to be honest.
You're on the rack.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good
And
time.
then we've also organised a very large brace that's mostly composed of lawnmower blades that we're going to use to kind of like strap your leg in position. I hope that's okay. I got inspiration watching this movie called Saw 3. I don't know. It seems like a medical film, so I'm hoping it works out well for you.
Right, well, this is most alarming, to be honest.
Oh no!
So-
I need it. I want it to be comforting. This has backfired terribly. How am I going to make this up to you, Jared?
I'm not sure, just... I think I might just... actually, the connection's going a bit spotty. Sorry, just let me...
Yeah, of course. Now, obviously, Claire and Michael won't be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, they are still away for the next couple of weeks. Matt is on his way. He's just running a little bit late, so we will have Matt joining us really, really soon. And I am pleased to announce our new full cast member. I was going to kind of do this whole, like, slow build surprise, but I think I'm happy to announce it because those of you who've been listening to the other sessions, I've already kind of like spoiled a little bit. Simon, who was one of the original players of the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, is going to be returning to join us for the Return of the Giants campaign. He is working on his character concept right now. I don't want to give too much away, but his inspiration was Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. And it turns out there is a subclass of Druid perfectly designed for a Pokemon trainer, which is going to be lots and lots of fun. So he will be finishing off the last of his character design over the next couple of days. I will then do the character artwork. You'll see it released on social media, on our Discord, Twitter, and I'll chuck it up on the ArtStation page as well, and we'll introduce his character next session. Unfortunately, didn't get everything quite ready in time for tonight, and he's ended up working a little bit later tonight, but he will be joining us next session. So that'll be really, really exciting. And it'll depend, how we introduce him and bring him in will all depend on what you three do tonight. And then when Matt joins us, what you four do tonight. That will be the decider. So at this point, I've told Simon that don't write too much of a backstory because we don't know how we're going to bring you in just yet. So we'll...
How quickly can we derail things?
It's the Lost Archives. We have to be on the rails to begin with, and often that's a bit of a task. So we'll
it's
see.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah?
Sorry,
Okay.
I was just going to say that observations, we were losing the 2 druid setup we had, and now we're gaining it back.
I know.
Ooh,
Isn't it
destined
funny?
to have 2 druids.
Destined to have double druid, the double D, double druids. Yeah, it's very funny actually. It's look, to be fair though, druid is one of the most versatile classes that you can play in 5th edition D&D. And in terms of like subclass versatility and the power of each of the subclasses, there's really not a bad druid subclass apart from Circle of the Land. But all the other druid subclasses are all pretty equally amazing. Obviously, Moon Druid stands at the top as the champion of all druids in terms of OP. But in terms of flavor and general power, I would say that pretty much all the other druids are pretty much like immediately after Moon Druid. They're, like, unlike other classes where there's often some like really clear subclasses that are a bit more powerful than others, I don't know. I just personally, from running D&D and from playing a couple of different types of druids, I do feel like druids are actually one of the they're one of the better design classes for 5th edition. It's going to be interesting to see with 1D&D what they do to druids, because they took a look at warlocks, which again, I actually thought warlocks were pretty well set up in 5th edition D&D. I actually thought they had a pretty good role. 1D&D looked at warlocks and went, we're going to take away everything that makes you good and just take it off you. So warlocks in 1D&D, I'm hoping they do a bit of a rewrite. To be honest though, can't say I'm super excited for 1D&D. Probably won't even.
Not looking forward to it.
Nah, I don't think
I'm hoping we're just going to stay on 5e.
Yeah, I think we will. And I think I've said a number of times, the reason that we also switched Return of the Giants to homebrew was that if the stuff with all the OGL and everything like that, or Hasbro tried to do some other dark annoying stuff in the future, we would just jump ship onto a brand new system. I'm happy to announce that if we do jump ship onto a new system, we are very much set up for it. And Project Black Flag, which is the new Kobold Press system, I've been looking at the stuff that's been coming out from it. If we were going to jump ship to a system and didn't want to learn anything new from 5th edition, that would be the one, because it is shamelessly very similar to 5th edition D&D. That's it would not be a hard transition. We would just have to relearn some words, and that would really be it for the most part. So it's like there's a lot of new stuff they're introducing that looks really cool, so we'd be able to implement a lot of really cool new things, but most of the main stuff we're doing now wouldn't really change, which is good news if we did want to jump ship. So it's not looking like we need to do that. It looks like everything, it looks like the message was received from all the OGL stuff, so I don't think we're going to need to jump ship straight away, but good to know that we have that option if we need to, right? Like, it's comforting to know that it's not going to be too much effort. In terms of other exciting news, Tears of the Kingdom is a fucking amazing game, and I'm loving playing it. I've almost finished the game as of a couple of hours ago. I completed the very last shrine, so that is done. And the reward for completing all the shrines is actually pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed with how good the reward is. I have to say, for Breath of the Wild, when you got the armor set, the Of the Wild set, I didn't love it in terms of the aesthetics. I thought it was a really cool homage to Ocarina of Time and the old Heroes set, but I have to say this new one is very different and very cool aesthetically, and in terms of just sheer armor, it's nuts. I think it's like 72 or like 82 defense with all three pieces, with like, because it's a single set that equips all 3 slots. It's just nuts. So I'll definitely be using that in my my showdown with Ganondorf, which is actually going to be the next thing that I'll be recording now that I've finished all the main quests. So yeah, look out for that. That'll be coming every single day, new episodes on YouTube.
Is that 100% Owen that you're close to, or is that?
Oh god, no! Like, I'm not doing the Koroks. Okay. Absolutely fucking no way. I have no interest in finding 900 pieces of golden poop to be granted one larger piece of golden poop.
Yeah.
So no, I won't be 100%ing, but I will be doing as many of the quests that I can, and I'll be unlocking all the depths as well. One of the big things I will do off camera is I will go to every light route and unlock all the depths. The reason I'm not going to do it on camera is that the reward for it is not worth it, and it's not that interesting to watch me get on my hover bike, go to the light route, touch the light route, get on my hover bike, go to the next light route. But all of the quests, things like that, I have been recording, so they are all up there in each episode. The quest lines though, so good, so good, and the music. I think that's the thing that I've been most like blown away by consistently, is how good the music is and how many musical homages there are to past games. Like I got a glimpse of the Skyward Sword theme today doing something, and I won't spoil it, but like just those like few notes of the Skyward Sword theme, I don't know, it was like this moment of like, that was really cool, and then I kind of knew what to expect might be coming next, and sure enough, yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. I'm a big fan. I think the Nintendo sound design, especially those who work on Zelda, is kind of unparalleled. I don't think there's many other game designers who are as good at sound design as Legend of Zelda are. The Legend of Zelda team. I think that'd be fair to say. Thank you everybody who came and joined us for Avatar Legends last night and our Curse of Strahd the previous night. It's been so lovely having you all here joining us live. But for those of you who haven't been catching it live, massive thanks for jumping on and watching on YouTube or listening on your podcast platform. We actually hit 90,000 views on YouTube this morning. So huge thank you to everybody who's been... Yeah, I know. So massive thank you tonight for that. You're muted, sorry, Dave. Poor Dave.
I think 22,000 of them, correct me if I'm wrong, is the first Avatar episode.
Yeah, 22,000. Yeah. People like Avatar, what can I say? Although, what's interesting...
8,000 on the second one. So
yeah, what's interesting is the Avatar drop-off is much more extreme than the D&D ones, which is quite funny. So
I did notice that. Yeah.
Which doesn't...
Yeah,
I mean,
not
like,
sustainable.
To be fair, yeah, no, we have Brune. We have 3 players. We have 3 players right now, but our 4th Matt will be with us in a moment. We're just running a little bit late. So if it's not obvious, I am slightly stalling. No, it's not obvious at all.
I thought we were just having a lovely small chat.
We are having a lovely small chat. Yeah.
I felt closer, and I felt like we built rapport.
Oh no!
Indeed, podcast edition.
So it's thank you everybody who's been helping get those numbers up on YouTube. Massive thank you. That's fantastic. We are edging closer every single day to that 1,000 subs on YouTube. Super grateful for everyone who's hit that subscribe button. If you're one of the people listening who hasn't yet hit it, come and join the absolute legends who have hit that subscribe button. It's really easy. Just hit the button. Done. You finished. That's it. You don't even have to turn on notifications if you don't want to. The notification bell is absolutely optional, but the subscribe button, would love if you could hit it. And if you are feeling like an especial cool person and you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, that also helps tame the timorous beastie that be the YouTube algorithm. It's a tempestuous and fickle master, but with your help we can tame it and bend it to our will. So that's all from me. Let's do a recap and jump into our session, unless there was any other fun news anyone had to share. Oh, Dave, do you want to show off your rogue ally?
Yeah.
Go on. I know you've been keen as.
I picked it up. I was the first one at the shop and the only one when I was there. I pre-ordered them late May. It's a strange market, Australia, because we don't have the Steam Deck for those who are not around here. And it's different because the Steam Deck and the Switch are consoles or console likes, whereas this is a full-fledged Windows machine. So probably not recommended for people who did you guys know that it's a problem in this day and age where like the younger people just don't know how to do file systems, because they're just so used to like Macs with just the Finder. Like File Explorer on Windows, how you organize your folders and all that.
Yeah. That's
a lost concept now.
No,
it's like people are hitting uni that don't understand like file concepts, just because like my dear fiance is one of those people. Throw her under the bus, but like I didn't know, because like on the Mac you just save stuff and you find it with Finder. But and likewise on your phones, everything's just in a black box of an app.
Schools aren't using Macs. I can speak for
They're using
Queensland.
Chromebooks, which are quite similar, right?
Nah, most schools in Queensland and Brisbane were using like laptops because I don't know if it was the state government. At least when I went through, it was all Windows. Yeah. I was Windows all the way.
We're old, mate. Hate to tell you.
Oh no.
Chromebooks weren't a thing when we went through.
Used macOS since Snow Leopard, but I swear it had, somewhat similar of a file system, at least for like downloads, documents, like that you'd manually move things into. But
you could also still just use Finder on like the search bar on any Windows computer.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the trend. And universities are really having this issue now, because it's like, like how we distribute our files and stuff. You need to kind of understand the file system. Yeah, so anyway, long story short.
Yeah.
The Rogue Ally is an amazing piece of tech if you're an enthusiast or even a hobbyist, but intermediate expert computer skills are probably the prerequisite.
It's not just something you can follow with a YouTube tutorial?
If you really wanted to learn, it's not something that you'd pick up and be playing within the next like hour of picking it up.
That's so
interesting. If you don't know how to use a Windows like laptop, you know what I mean?
It
like,
kind of is how
console
they pitched
gamers.
It. Yeah, right. For console gamers, yeah.
Right?
It's
like,
the Linux
I'm talking
about That's so funny.
I'm talking about like the console games. Like you go home on your PlayStation, you do some updates, and you put the disc in and you play. Whereas like if you've never used Steam before, which there are a population that haven't.
Disgusting. No. Filthy casuals. Get them out of our space. If you haven't grown up with Steam, sharing your Steam library illegally with a mate, then you haven't lived.
Fully legally, within terms of service.
Within terms of service, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But every time you do it, Gaben loses one of the hairs on his head. That's why he's gone so bald in the last few years, especially. If you didn't download the Orange Box on Steam, I feel like that's a very that has to be one of our generation's fundamental experiences. Getting Portal, Half-Life 2, was it? Portal, Half-Life 2, Gary's mod. What was in the Orange Box?
I think Counter-Strike Source must have been as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Team Fortress as well.
Team Fortress.
Team Fortress 2. Oh, love Team Fortress 2.
Left 4 Dead, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe not.
There were loads. You got Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, Team Fortress 2. You got so much good stuff.
Yeah.
I love Team Fortress 2. I played a lot of Team Fortress 2 as a late high schooler, early university student. I played a lot of Team Fortress 2. Mostly just
it was
2
like
for
the predecessor
sniper.
to Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like a 90s but not 90s Overwatch almost.
Yeah, I think you're actually bang on there. Although I have heard some people getting quite upset with Overwatch 2, but I don't understand why yet.
They were promised a really in-depth PvE mode with Overwatch 2, and that was the whole point of it. But they've just said, "Nah, we're just going to give you a bare bones experience, and we give up."
Wow, the Blizzard experience.
Yep.
I was going to say because
it's okay. There's a Game Pass which you can pay for. Not a Game Pass, sorry.
It's just so
a season pass that you can pay for to give you extra characters, but you just have to give them money. So.
Oh no! Don't give Blizzard your money. Not after that.
It's a free game, isn't it?
It's a free game.
It is now.
I mean, I paid for Overwatch 1, and then that just became Overwatch 2. So if you count the money I lost with Overwatch 1.
Oh, Dave. This is one of the problems with being a technophile and an early adopter. You get a bit burned sometimes. I don't know if you've noticed. There's a bit of a trend, Dave, with some of your purchases.
Sorry, Games Pass will never burn me.
No ads for Games Pass. People are genuinely going to think we're sponsored by Games Pass. We're not sponsored by Games Pass. That'd be great. We're not. Yeah. Dave might be sponsored by Games Pass. I don't know, but I can tell you that the stream is not. Oh my goodness. Well, let me do a recap. Let us get into the events of last session, and then we will get started. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Tetra, Niles, Nauthiz, and Krasus have been sent to the nearby settlement of Laspire to locate the hill giant fort recently seen flying overhead. Having teamed up with Harry, a travelling Harengon merchant, the group have explored only a fraction of the town, finding it overrun with clockwork creatures in the process of disassembling the nearby buildings. The group were able to rescue an old librarian from the nearby tavern, but in the process were exposed to a strange giant relic which has now embedded parts of itself into their hands. Deciding to get the man to safety before heading deeper into the town, the group faced off against a terrifying serpent construct, but through some quick thinking by now, were able to bypass it. Outside, the group found another survivor, Cynthia, who claimed to have been captured along with the rest of the town when they sought refuge in the nearby woods. Leading the characters to a hidden cave near an underground river, Cynthia revealed to the group that the people who had captured the townsfolk seemed to belong to a cult-like organization focused on elemental magic that townsfolk now to be used in their experiments. After some detailed and careful planning, our heroes were accidentally revealed to the cult, the apparent leader spotting Krasus' owl familiar and using some unknown magic to locate the party. After inviting the group inside, the hooded figure disappeared into the gloom of the cave, the rest of the party deciding to follow. This decision may have proved disastrous, as Melania, a water Genasi mage, immediately turned on the party and attempted to put them to sleep with magic. Luckily for the party, I rolled terribly. The spell just didn't have enough power behind it, knocking only Tetra unconscious. A fight between the party and the cultists immediately broke out, with the party fighting for their lives against these dangerous foes. Krasus, however, was able to quickly lock Melania down using a very clever and frustrating use of Earthen Grasp, allowing Lyra to then use her Eladrin Face Step to charm two of the cultists and turn the tide of battle. With Niles and Harry dealing some ridiculously heavy damage, the combat ended with most of the cultists either dead or dying slowly on the cave floor, while Melania was knocked unconscious by the building pressure of the earthen grasp. We left off last session with the team attempting to tie up the 2 cultists who had been charmed by Lyra's spell, while Krasus and Niles searched through Melania's belongings, trying to locate a potential arcane focus and prevent her from casting any future spells. That is where we left off last session. We're going to jump straight back in exactly where we left off. Krasus, having just located and taken off of Melania what looks to be some small crystal focus marked with runes written in some sort of what looks to be maybe primordial or elemental language. As you remove this crystal, you can add, I'm not going to beat around the bush, you can add arcane focus to your inventory if you like.
Sure.
Yeah. It's pretty obviously the arcane focus. So yeah, please feel free to add arcane focus to your inventory if you take this offer. Apart from the arcane focus, if you're looking through the rest of her belongings, from your investigation check of 20, Niles having given you advantage in the last session, you find 17 gold pieces. I'll write these in chat for you as well. 17 gold pieces, 28 silver pieces, and 46 copper pieces in her coin pouch. If you want to just take the coin pouch, you can then just add that gold, silver, and copper to your inventory.
Cool.
She also seems to have what looks to be 2 or 3 different colored fragments of gemstone. The gemstones themselves, the small, tiny splinters of crystal or gem, probably aren't worth much. The color and the cracks along the surface, as well as the actual small nature of them, probably would indicate to you that they don't have much value in terms of sale value. But looking at them, you can see that there are what look to be tiny scorch marks and sections where parts of the crystal have burned or melted, almost as if it was shattered somehow with some intense heat. As you look at the fragments and try to piece them together, sure enough, having a look over, it looks like some of these fragments might even once have been joined together.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess I'll also take them.
Yeah, you can add crystal fragments times 5 to your inventory.
Cool. Perfect. Just a quick question. Is there actually someone over here? There's a banded mage, apparently.
Let me have a quick look. Oh, don't worry about that on the map. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
It's like the one I saw during the battle last time.
No, don't worry about any of that.
That's cool. I'm just making sure I'm not just looting in front of like a enemy.
No, don't worry about it.
Perfect. Well, I guess me and Niles will finish that up. Niles is there helping me. Sova's there as well on my shoulder.
Can I shout out while they're sort of looting her body? Does she have clothes on underneath that cloak that she's wearing?
Yes, indeed she does. As you start pulling back the robes and have a bit of a look, she's wearing what look to be very sturdy traveling clothes, a linen tunic. Matt's here. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt. Perfect timing,
Perfect
actually.
timing. I was literally just I just finished the recap and was going through the results of the search of the mage.
Amazing.
Your camera.
I was going to
should
say
be...
that we're in
You
combat
mean amazing?
It was nice catching up with you guys. I'm gonna jump off now.
She's just gonna yell out, can you take the cloak as well? It might be a good disguise if we wanted to try the pretend to be someone else thing again, but maybe someone that's better at faking voices than me.
The interesting thing about the cloak, or I should say the robes that she's wearing, the way that they wrap around her, it looks like they're very much form-fitting. They were designed to go over the top of the tunic and traveling pants. They're very much sized for her. Really, like judging by her height and weight, really probably only Lyra could wear these without some adjustments needing to be made to them. Harry's pretty lithe. Harry, you could also probably pull off these as well. But Krasus and Niles, it's going to be pretty tough for you to get these clothes on to fit around you. I mean, Niles, obviously with your wings, some creative positioning or like cuts will need to be alterations will need to be made to this layered robe to be able to wear it properly. The other humanoids, the other Genasi and humans in the cave, again, very much traveling clothes. It seems that they're wearing. All of them, however, as you do look over, I'm going to say, given that you're taking time to try and tie them up, even though I believe your attempt to tie their hands was a 6, which is a natural 1 from you, Harry.
I think that was the guards.
Yep, to tie the guards' hands as you very roughly attempt to tie them together. Each of them does have what looks to be some form of tattoo. Unlike most standard inks, the tattoo actually, even those who have recently dyed, the tattoo seems to be glowing very softly. For most of them, it's on the back of the hand or the upper shoulder. And it's that same symbol that you saw before. What looks to be a combination of the 4 elements. Fire in the middle, surrounded by gusts of wind, a water droplet sort of joining around them, and in the very center, a stone. It's, a very strange combined 4-element symbol. I'm gonna.
That's a fancy tattoo you got there, eh?
The 2 guards, the 2 Earth guards who were charmed by Lyra, nod and go, "Yeah, it's a symbol of our participation and our fraternity with this group. Yeah, it's quite a nice symbol, isn't it?"
Have you had the tattoos long?
Oh, I've had mine for 3 years. The other one sort of looks over, goes, 2.5.
Very cool. Well, I mean, and then she looks around to the others and just sort of as if to say, does anyone else have anything for these guys? Because if we're not going to be able to tie them up, I'm going to sort of see if they can help me on an errand outside.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean tie us up? I thought we discussed we weren't going to tie us up. And as they look down at the knots that Harry has tried to tie around their hands, you just watch as they pull their hands apart very slowly, and the knot just unravels and then spools in a perfect loop on the floor.
It's hard with these paws.
I have no hands.
You might need to work on that, Harry, my good friend. I don't believe there's much I can do for them.
And she's,
I wanted to ask them, like, what are they doing here? Are they causing issues, or like, are they, who are they sacrificing things to?
I think it's pretty clear that they're causing some sorts of issues.
Sacrificing? Hey, whoa. We're cracking open the energy contained within vessels. Right? That's what they described? Yes, that's what they described. Yeah. Yeah, right.
But they have to die, for that to happen?
Sacrificing their lives.
No. It's a painless process.
Are they alive?
What about all the screams, though, mate? Yeah. It's a mostly painless process.
Something you would volunteer for?
Oh, no, God, no, never. No.
Yeah, that doesn't instill a great deal of confidence. Yeah.
You should talk to Melania about it. She's the one who knows the most. We're just sort of here to help keep the area secure, occasionally help find more volunteers, bring them in.
Crack a few heads.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, mostly just here as a hired muscle. To be honest, we're a bit reticent to leave the Genasi states, the Jormethion, the elemental city, but Melania explained it was important, and to be able to travel with the Holy One. It's quite exciting. Yeah, exactly right. Quite exciting. Pretty good opportunity.
Speaking of the Genasi states, did you, just before I do this, do you guys have anything else for them?
Something about a Holy One?
Yeah.
Who's the guy that we saw earlier?
Yeah, who's this Holy One you're speaking of?
Yeah, they came through just before, went outside, then came back and told us you'd be coming in and to give you a proper welcome, get you through. Then Melania'd put you to sleep. Then we'd carry you through to the next room.
Yeah. What was their name again?
Oh, We don't know their name. No, just a title. We call them the Holy One. No name. They've ascended beyond such earthly attachments, I hear. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, ascended beyond.
Do you believe that?
They look at each other. Yeah, why else would we... Yeah.
What makes you think they've ascended, then?
Well, their sheer powerful grasp over magic. Elemental magic. Oh, and that device they've got in the back of their hand as well.
Wait. Like this?
Does it?
Yeah, exactly like that. There's a bit different, though. There's glows. No, there's glows a very different color.
Kind of give a side eye to the rest of the party. Like, what?
Do you know anyone else? Like, have you seen anyone else with, like, the same hand thing? Other than us, of course.
I mean, I know that 2 of the other holy ones back in Dromethion have the same.
So there's other holy ones then, not just this one.
So holy minis.
Well, there's 9 total. Yeah.
You call them?
Are they all cracking open vessels?
I don't know. We were lucky enough to be assigned to this holy one. They're called the Holy Ones. It's just add an S to the end. It's much easier than trying to call them the Holy Many. That sounds stupid.
I think the Holy 9 would sound better myself, but
yeah,
Holy Ones,
that's a
I
pretty
think I
good.
agree.
If 2 holy ones were in a room, would you just both call them the Holy One? I mean, wouldn't that get very confusing?
Well, we don't talk to them directly. We're not worthy. Yeah, no. That's only the speakers can talk to the Holy Ones.
You're following someone that you haven't even been able to have a conversation with?
Of course. No. They speak to us. Don't worry. They'll give us orders. But we can't speak to them directly. No, that would tarnish their experience of this plane.
They want you to think. Maybe you guys have the power, and it's just that they've made you believe that you have the power, and that, you guys are just kind of following them without asking anything. I mean, what if you guys have better ideas than they do?
They sort of pause for a moment, look at each other, look back at you, Lyra. The larger Earth Genasi sort of pauses and goes, I saw one of them turn one of my mates to stone, and then with just a flick of his wrist, crumble him into dust. I'm pretty sure they've got the power. Pretty confident on that one.
That is a concern. Yeah. I was going to say maybe you should head off back to Dromethion, but it seems like this Holy One's got you in their grasps.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask if you could go to the markets and then go see Mark for me on the 2nd floor of the marketplace. The really big one? But, I guess if you don't want to go back there, that's, I'm not going to force you. I mean, I'm not some evil Holy One.
No, we definitely don't crack any vessels here.
No.
I'll look out towards the room, like
At the dead and dying Genasi.
Yeah, what was actually got a cracked head?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah, you would never do that.
No, I meant like, we wouldn't take a village hostage and crack those vessels.
No, just a family of people living in a cave. Yeah.
Tried to kill us first, but
That's semantics. It's fine.
Do you guys want to go back to Dromethion? You mentioned you were hesitant to leave.
Yeah, we can't just go back to Dromethion. We still haven't fulfilled our glorious purpose here. We've still got to fulfill the wishes of the speaker, Melania, and make sure that we adhere to the whims of the Holy One. We can't just go back. We'd be abandoning our post.
Melania was just telling us earlier that everything here is kind of done and dusted. I mean, it's all kind of finished here.
You need to make me a deception check. Unfortunately, I believe you get to make that with advantage because they are charmed.
Are they? I was going to say, are they still charmed?
It lasts for, I believe, an hour.
I thought it was only like a minute. Oh,
double
shit.
check.
Okay.
Double check because it's the phase step. Let me double check.
That's pretty good.
Hang on,
May
I can
have
pull it
wrapped up.
It is seconds?
I've been working under the assumption it lasts for an hour. If it's
Oh,
only
it's
a
a
minute,
say.
things are about to get very spicy.
It's
a minute. It's definitely a minute.
It's a minute.
Okay. Most of that, I'm happy to have that conversation happen. As you sort of say that, Lyra, there's this pause as the sort of final elements of that very small sparkly dust that you'd created when you teleported right next to them suddenly fade off. Sort of like shake their heads, their eyes open wide as if coming out from a dream. They look down at the floor and then at the bodies of their friends and companions around them, and then over towards Niles and Krasus currently looting Melania, who is still trapped in this stone fist that is holding her still. Hello?
I was just going to say, because I've finished looting her a while back. I've been just sort of observing from the back. The moment I start probably seeing them change a little bit, I have like a knife ready almost to like just put to Melania's neck to keep them in line if need be.
Ooh, okay. As they look up and see you with the unconscious Melania, a knife to her throat, they sort of freeze a little bit, hands on the hilts of their weapons as they sort of pause in fear and look towards you, Krasus.
Now, this is how it's going to be. We won't kill you. I think we should follow the law and have you judged. Put down your arms. We shall tie you. But I promise you, we will not harm you if you oblige.
You've killed what did you do to our minds? You made us think you were our
You
friend.
attacked us first. We did not cast the first stone.
Yeah, he's right.
He's true.
We came in these caverns willingly, and under the assumption of friendship, you soiled that.
We wish to speak to your Holy One.
And we have. Well, we will.
And Melania
When
here
she
had
wakes
other
up.
ideas.
The slightly smaller Genasi, the Genasi, the one wielding the battle axe, sort of lowers his head and goes, "It is not up to us to question the Holy One. The way and the truth and the light and the path is very different." As he begins sort of muttering under his breath, the larger one puts a hand on his shoulder, gently lowers the axe. Krasus, could I please get an intimidation check from you? I'm going to adjust the DC accordingly for you holding a knife to the throat of their speaker.
So obviously intimidation is not my strong
more intimidating, right?
It's a lot more intimidating.
Damn, intimidation's not my strong suit.
That's okay. I will actually, rather than adjust the DC, I will
rolled
give you
a 0.
advantage. Oh my god.
Did you just say advantage? Did you just say advantage?
He did say advantage.
You were saying something right.
Because Lyra has been helping with this, and because all of you took out everyone around them, you do have advantage on this. So natural 1 for a total of 0. However, with advantage, that's a total of 10. Look, these guys aren't idiots.
My thing, not charisma.
They've watched you take out everyone around them. They know that it's, at this stage, probably suicide to try and kill you. They're going to lower their weapons. The larger Genasi lowers his axe, pushes it forwards, and then gestures to his friend. When his friend doesn't respond, he reaches over, snatches it from his hands, and then gently lowers it to the floor and pushes it away from them, past Harry and over towards the far wall. He then takes his hands and puts them behind his head. Do what you need to do, but please, just don't kill us. I won't cry out.
I promise we won't. Well,
Smart choice.
You shall see the sun again. Now, let's get them tied up. And a bit better than last.
I'll try again. I'll
give you a hand.
Help me.
I'll give you a hand. How about that?
Sounds
would you like to roll a sleight of hand with advantage?
I would.
And while he's tying him up, I think Lyra's gonna just sort of be like, for all it's worth, I'm glad you guys are still alive. I actually really like you guys. You guys seem cool. Other than that, throwing a giant boulder at me kind of thing. But
thanks, I guess. 22, Harry. As you now expertly tie their hands together and loop them in and then push them up against the back wall, keeping them tied off. I mean, I've realized that the toilet is right next to where they are. I'm guessing you don't tie them to the toilet, though. That seems a bit harsh. I mean, unless
Harry
you want
thinks
to.
to, but decides not to. No.
What's
I'll tie
that
him to
like?
the bench.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like a stone
Tie them
bench
to the
or
bench.
something?
Yeah, there's a stone bench. Interesting, as you tie them up against the stone bench, you can actually see half hidden behind the stone bench and in the shadow of the wall is a narrow corridor leading towards the north. It looks like there is light coming from that room beyond. Probably in the heat of combat, you might not have noticed this small narrow corridor coming off the main corridor that Melania tried to escape down. Much more obvious and much more easy to spy from the entrance. But yeah, as you tie them up to the stone bench and glimpse into that room beyond, the cavern beyond, you can see what looks to be large sections of barrels and chests, partly broken open and destroyed as you peer down into the room, Harry.
This cave is actually pretty deep, eh?
Oh, what you got there? Let's have a look. Should we check that out before we, or are we? What should we do?
What are we going to do with Melania?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And that holy one is still around here somewhere. I'm not too fond of that idea. Considering they can turn people into stone and turn them into dust. I'd rather not that happen.
Ooh, I wonder.
Even that, like that way, right? And he points like behind Melania, like to the east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corridor that leads towards the east.
Hey, you two, what's up here, eh?
Storage. We keep some supplies there, things that we took off the villagers when we first ambushed them at the logging camp. Just some stuff. There's also some... Yeah, not much interesting stuff, just some stuff.
Inside check.
Yeah, go for it.
Does someone want to do an inside check, or can I? Or...
You can, or I can, whichever.
I can help, or try and help, based on charm vibes.
22, Harry.
22.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, they don't seem to be outright lying when they describe it as things that they've taken off the villagers and just stuff. They seem like they are trying to be helpful.
You didn't have any reinforcements that way? Is there anyone else in the cave?
Oh, yeah.
The holy one.
Yeah, no. There's a couple more. There's a few more mages, not speakers like Melania, but mages nonetheless. Most of them would be probably with the prisoners, and a couple more guards as well, further in.
Which are that way. He points to the behind Melania.
They both pathways join up eventually, but there's if you head to the north, there's a quicker pathway, much easier to get through. As he says that, Harry, with your as he says that, Harry, with your inside of 22, the second guard looks over as he says the north pathway's quicker, confused, then opens his eyes and then nods. Yeah, much quicker. Much quicker.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll loop back around this way, because like the holy one went that way, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There aren't any other pathways around, are there? Like ones that, I don't know, maybe they're behind some sort of cool hidden bookcase door or like a trapdoor or something?
The river passes down towards the end of the pathway. There's another bridge you'll have to cross, but the water is quite deep and there's sharp rocks. That's probably the only other way to get there.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just thinking. Are we gonna leave these two here? I'm a bit concerned that perhaps one of their friends might come and check on these guys and find them tied up.
Yeah.
Should we leave someone here to look after them? Should we? What are we going to do about that?
Harry's checks if these barrels are empty.
The barrels are not empty, Harry. As you begin looking through and pulling them open, it looks like the barrels are actually full of food. The one that's right in front of you seems to be full of apples. The other one seems to be full of what looks to be potatoes and onions kind of mixed together in this very confusing mashup of root vegetables.
Maybe we should take the... there's a lot of weapons here. Look at the bag of holding. Might be able to put them in here.
I was almost thinking, would it be worth bringing the guards with us as and sort of, maybe in a way that they can't really see her, like, you know, sort of like behind her back, but like as guides, but have them, you know, walk in front of us, and just in case there are any like directional errors that we could take.
But they could also just like warn anyone who's in front of us as well.
But we still have Melania, and we still have a knife, so we might have the upper hand. I'm very new to this, guys. I don't know what we're doing here.
I mean, we could always just muffle them and chuck them here behind these barrels.
Or tie them to a tree or something outside, just gives a little bit more time.
Oh, outside's a good idea.
You know what? While we find the rest of the prisoners, we could tie them outside on trees and have our two friends outside look after them.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe for your convenience, Owen, should we just send Tetra and Nauthiz to...
I was about to say, are you happy for me to have Tetra and Nauthiz take the two prisoners? Perfect.
Yeah.
Tetra sort of perks up a little bit, having been inspecting the back wall and looking through the barrels over here. What was that, sorry?
Just before Tetra goes, sorry, Tetra, do you have any more healing spells left? I'm a little bit hurt, and I don't have much left myself.
Oh, are you tapped out? I will have a quick look and see if I have any more spells that I could use to help make you feel better. I'm going to have a quick look. I don't think Tetra does. I think Tetra is very...
Oh, no, I don't think Tetra has anything.
Oh, no.
Tetra's tapped, I believe, is what we said last session. Let me have a quick look.
Is she holding any potions? Are they holding any potions?
Oh, I do have a potion.
Has one greater potion of healing. Question is, Tetra has 1 second level spell slot.
Yeah, I've got 1 second that I've been holding in reserve. But...
Tetra, because Tetra's about to leave, Tetra is going to cast a second level healing word on you. Who's the most hurt?
On a scale of
6, but I think
3.
Oh, 3. Oh no.
Do you have any wild shapes left, or?
Yeah, I've got one.
Wow.
So that's like 12.
I can hide in the back. I hide in the back anyway. I'll be fine.
Niles does have a potion. He's only on 13. This is a very messy thing to do.
Yeah.
There is one thing I might be able to do. It'll involve using my my last spell slot, but I could summon a healing spirit for a minute, and that might give us 1d6 multiplied by how many actions we get to do in a minute.
It sounds good, but like maybe it's worth receiving as well.
Maybe we hold on to that one, Lyra. If you're feeling a little down, perhaps you can have my potion here. I think I should be okay to push on.
I reckon what we do is we just use the healing word or thingy from Tetra. I reckon you save your potion just in case one of us go down. We need you to pick us up.
Sounds good.
The spirit can heal a number of times equal to 1 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So you'd only be able to use it 4 times before it disappeared. It's still good, but just so you know how that spell would fully work.
They did nerf it.
They did. I'm happy to have... Because Tetra does have a potion of greater healing, and Tetra's feeling pretty fine right now. I think in this instance, Michael would want you to be safe. So Michael is going to, or Tetra is going to give the healing potion to Harry. Did you want to drink this healing potion, Harry?
Which one's better? Give that one to...
So 4d4 plus 4 for the potion of greater healing. And for the healing word's second level, 2d4 plus 3.
I'll take the healing word and give...
Alrighty.
Yeah, and then give... That's correct, right? Like the potion's better, right?
Yeah, the potion's better. So that's 7 hit points back to you, Harry.
Yep.
And for... I will take this off. And for Lyra, that is 15.
Ooh, it's blue.
Yeah, because it's got one green, one red.
Oh.
I will
That's a little bit better.
remove that.
Getting a little bit close to comfort there.
That's cool.
Alrighty, perfect. With that, Tetra goes, well, I will take these 2 prisoners outside. Nauthiz, did you want to come with me? Now this sort of nods emphatically. Yes, this one will accompany you outside, and we will find safe place for everyone to camp and reconvene afterwards.
Niles says a thumbs up.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Perfect. With that, Tetra and Nauthiz will escort the 2 Earth Guards outside.
Are they taking Melania with them?
Did you want them to? They will if you want them
Depends
to.
if we
They
wanna. Depends if we want to cart them around.
I thought like Melania would be a good hostage.
I'm down for that.
I'm down for that.
will. Okay. Perfect. So you guys
And
keep Melania with you.
Melania's just down.
What?
Sorry, I was trying to be funny. You said I'm down for that. I'm like, Melania's just down.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
She is. Wow.
All right.
Awesome. All right.
Perfect. With that, as Tetra and Niles leave the cave, the room.
Oh, now this, you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, Tetra and Nauthiz. Sorry. As Tetra and Nauthiz leave the cave with the 2 Earth Guards and begin walking back outside. The last you see is Nauthiz turning back around, giving you a little wave, and then disappearing around the corner. Alrighty. What would you guys like to do?
We have some decisions to make. We can either confront this Holy One, or we can get to the chamber where they're keeping the villagers and continue on with our task.
In all honesty,
Well, like-
I'm kind of afraid of the Holy One. He sounds pretty scary.
Me too. I don't think we're in a position to be battling them anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think maybe we get to the prisoners and, yeah, we just do what we came here to do.
Out of us who's left, who's probably the best at finding traps? Because I didn't entirely believe those Earth Guards.
No.
Sounded like there was
neither.
something more along the northern path waiting for us than just.
Harry boasts up his chest. He's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty perceptive. I'll be all right with it. I think."
Oh, I've got a pretty good eye for things. I could help as well.
Yeah, let's put it together.
I could also use it, and I sort of start using Mage Hand a little bit around. I can use this to sort of scan surfaces and other such things, and potentially find anything before it gets us.
I've always wondered what it would be like to have a 5th appendage. Oh, I think that would make my life a little easier. I sort of punch the air a little bit.
No, it's not a 5th appendage. It's just a spell. Nothing at all. That's crazy, to be honest. This is just normal, regular magic to us.
Can it interact with people or things?
That it can.
Ah. But it cannot inflict damage.
Oh, I haven't tried it in that capacity, but I don't think so.
It could inflict damage by pulling a lever that inflicts damage on something else.
Ah. Rather
Maybe.
creative.
Well,
Anyway, I digress. Shall we continue?
please. I guess the question is, so are we carrying Melania with us?
Sounds like you are.
Maybe we can just drag her on the ground behind us.
Who is physically strong? To be honest?
I am not strong
Our
at all.
muscles walk outside.
Yep.
Our muscles walk
Do you want to?
-1?
Do you want to bring Melania with you, or do you quickly want to retcon and have Melania be taken outside with Tetra
Yep.
and Niles?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, we changed our mind. Tetra, could you up?
Tetra trots back in. Oh no, it'd be Nauthiz who trots back in.
Yeah.
Trots back in. You wanted us for something?
Yeah. Could you just take Melania here with you as well? Might be a little hard with these noodly arms.
Of course. Nauthiz picks up Melania with one arm.
Wait, did you
Drops
say
it over her
noodly
shoulder.
arms?
Yeah.
You realize you don't have arms.
Oh no, I have arms.
He has arms under his wings, I'm pretty sure.
So that means you have 6 appendages.
Oh. Yes. I hadn't thought of that before.
7 if you include your head.
Oh, I meant more. I can't really punch with my wings. I meant more, with effectiveness with my hands.
I mean, you
Okay.
can fly. That's pretty cool. I'd say.
It's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you, Nauthiz. We'll see you in a bit.
Of course, not a problem.
Please keep
We
them
shall see
tied
you
up.
later.
Do a thumbs up.
Sis, do you have that cloak at all? That you took off Melania?
I did not take it off. You did. So whatever you did with it, it's.
Wait, she puts it on.
Oh, I missed what was going on there. What else did you get from her? Any other curiosities?
So as you asked that, I'll bring out the arcane focus and the crystal fragments. Just these, really.
My.
This points to the arcane focus. This is the most important thing. If she had this still, well, she could still be casting spells. So this is a good take.
Very good, very good. Do you have use for that?
Works.
I know you do the things with the things.
I look at you sort of... The things, yes.
Yes, the things.
The things that took me years to master and learn. The things.
The things.
I sort of do like roll my eyes and stand up.
Oh, well, no. I mean, I do the things with my fists, and you do the things with the magic. It's the same thing. Well, maybe a little different.
I scruff myself off. The arcane arts are not things. They are complex and above almost other people's imaginings. They're not
yes.
things.
I'm sure.
Complex things.
But I don't know. I mean, have you studied the 9 sutras and mastered every single lotus dance? That is a rather impressive body of work, I must say.
Well, that is why I don't say that you also immerse yourself in things.
Ah.
I think we're far beyond, aren't we? That.
Perhaps I misunderstood. No. Your arts are rather they still elude me a little, but they are rather impressive, I must say.
Well, they eluded me for years. I've only just sort of come upon them.
Well, I hope you continue in your endeavors.
Thanks. You as well. This conversation.
Anyway,
Just
I've
really
gotten
nice.
quite sidetracked.
Just support for each other. Hope you have a wonderful life.
We're just like standing in a room full of dead people, and we're just like, "You got this."
One of the corpses sits up. This is really insensitive for dead people hearing you wish each other a lovely life.
You made your
So that
choice.
didn't happen. Obviously, that's
Well, shall we move forward?
Yes. Should I lead the group?
I was also thinking, so Lyra puts on Melania's cloak, pulls it up, like way over to her head, tucks away her hair, tries to, hide any sort of other identifiable things. Worst comes to worst, guys. Just like what you actually did with Melania back there, I'll pretend to be unconscious, someone holds a knife to my throat and pretends that I'm Melania and, hostage.
I don't have a knife, so I'll leave that in Krasus's care, responsibility. Yes.
When we were talking to Melania before, did her arcane focus show prominently in her spellcasting? Was that like a thing that could identify her?
So the arcane focus actually wasn't really visible until you started searching through. It looks like she kept it somewhat hidden away, or not hidden away per se, but at least didn't keep it out in the open for anyone to see.
Yeah, that's fine, because that just means that then I was thinking that if I show people that, then they'll be like, oh shit, that's Melania's focus. But if that's not the case, then they probably won't be aware of its appearance. So probably we'll have to default to this strategy.
Yep. Anyway, shall we continue? I'll keep an eye out for traps. In fact, as Niles comes to this corridor in the north, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to look for any traps that might be down this little pathway.
So also to help you, I guess, I'll stand 5 or 10 behind you, and about 20 feet ahead of you, I'll have the mage hand scanning.
Oh, you're just patting cool.
Patting things down as we go, so we're a good distance away. So if it does trigger anything, we won't be hit.
Cool.
I think we're going to go east.
Feasibly.
Isn't that what we're planning to do? East, not north?
We can still go east. I have no
Where
issue with
the
that.
holy one is?
Oh,
I mean, I can still look. I'll still look up the corridor for traps. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to
I'll still do Mage Hand either way we go.
with advantage. I guess that's going to be.
Yep. Perception.
Okay, we'll take the 13 perception and not the 1.
Not the natural 1. You guys have run a few natural ones tonight. Niles, as you begin looking through the corridor, no signs of any traps, no pressure plates, no tripwires, no arcane sigils hiding away underneath a loose stone. If anything, the corridor looks completely clear. In fact, it's quite narrow and would be quite impractical to try and squeeze a trap into this sort of narrow area. The room beyond looks to be fairly clear as far as you can see as well.
Yep. Well, this way looks clear, but if we want to go to the east, I'm happy to do that.
Well, like, I realized we forgot to ask where the prisoners were, but he didn't mention that the prisoners up north. He said there was storage.
Oh, I thought the storage was this way.
I thought the prisoners were the storage.
I
mean, we can go that way if we don't run into any guards and we find a room full of storage. I mean,
I just am hesitant to go to that way because that's where the Holy One was going. So
okay, I mean, he said they match up in the end anyway, so we'll go this way. I guess.
Yeah, we'll give this a whirl. Although he definitely was lying about it being quicker. So,
yep.
Maybe we should go the way. Maybe we should go the way you were going, Harry. I'd rather not encounter any more guards.
They meet up. If it's like a big loop anyway, we would probably inevitably run into them.
Yes. Let's go this way.
I
don't mind.
I do suggest that we move with stealth.
Of course, yes.
Alrighty, I'll get stealth checks from everyone who is trying to stay stealthy.
Okay. So I'm going to get Sova to give me the help action on this.
Yep.
And that makes sense because she's sort of perched on my shoulder as well, so it's almost like a lookout, I guess.
No.
23 for Harry.
Wow.
8 for Lyra. Natural 1 for Crassus. Balanced out with the 11.
Ones.
Niles 14. Oh my goodness, guys. Not amazing. As you begin sort of moving quietly, the problem is the loose stone ground causes you to kick pebbles quite frequently. Even if you're trying your best to be silent and stealthy, the loose stones underneath make it very, very hard to do so. As you enter into the next chamber, you can see this room is far larger than you might have first predicted. From the outside, this hillock didn't look as expansive and as large as it is, but once you've entered into this cavern beneath the earth, it seems far larger than you first would have expected. In the center of the room is a walled off section of stone, a large 20-foot by 20-foot dark black pit seeming to lead down into nothingness below. As you come into the room and begin peering down over the edge, the light drops away to shadow, probably about 30-40 feet down, and then just disappears into darkness. The rest of the room seems to be... Sorry, you go. No, you go.
Oh, I'm just going to look over the edge and be like, that is rather terrifying.
Let's have a bit of a peek down there, shall we? I pick up a loose pebble or anything on the floor, Owen, cast a light cantrip on it, and then drop it down.
You watch as the pebble drops and falls and fades away into darkness.
Oh.
So I did cast the light cantrip on it, so did
the
the light
just
get expelled?
dwindles away as it goes, and then finally it just falls out of sight. So far that even the light no longer is visible in the darkness.
Okay, that's...
I look at Krasus and I look shocked at that, and I'm like, I was going to offer to fly down there, but on second thoughts, I don't think that's a good idea. How far does that go?
Okay, can I do... I'm not super duper smart, but Krasus is. So, judging by the moment that light sort of was, sort of left our vision, could I guess a rough estimate of at least that depth that the light was extinguished?
So it looks like when the light... I mean, judging by how far it fell over a few seconds, you're sort of able to count. The light kind of disappears fully from your vision probably about 8 seconds after you drop the pebble, which means that pebble just fell until it was swallowed up by the darkness blade, because it's only a small stone. So, it's not that it hit something or landed. You just think it got far enough away that you could no longer see the light anymore. The darkness was so complete. As far as you can tell, Krasus, from dropping that pebble, it dropped for hundreds of feet before disappearing into nothingness.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was there any audible noise of it hitting ground?
No audible noise. Would you like to make, anyone who wants to make a perception or investigation check can?
Sure.
So I'll tell everyone though that is probably at least a couple hundred feet. And
18
that is
miles. You heard
just roughly where I think the stone disappeared.
Wow. Does this pit look like it's recent? Or does it look like it's been here? Okay.
That's what I was going to say about this area. So the cave itself, moving into this part of the cave, the front opening where the cultists have set up their kind of like organization and set up their... Oops, sorry, pup. There we go, I'm back. Where the cultists have set up their sort of front organization, it looks like they've actually carved away the stone. But this room itself almost looks like they've stumbled across this. You can actually see parts of the wall which look to be worked stone that have been swallowed and covered by this natural stone. And as you look around, you can actually see that, judging by the stone and the clay that's filled up this room, this probably was ancient. It's been here for a very, very long time and has only been partially excavated by the cultists who've come into here. They've moved some stuff in, they've set up some torches and brackets, and they clearly were interested in excavating most of the area around, but it looks like they've focused on an area more to the north. Whereas you can see sections of wall that disappear towards the east and are still covered and surrounded by this stone. The pit itself, as you begin having a bit of a closer look and examining it, Niles, with your perception of 18, you can actually see that the edges of this pit are marked with what looks to be some form of writing. Does anyone here speak, read, or write Primordial?
No.
I'm just a little webbit.
Unfortunately not.
Ali?
Shana used to, but she took that skill with her when she left.
Yes, she did. In that case, then, the writing is this incomprehensible series of very almost like organic-looking runes that kind of twist and curve into each other, slightly pictographic in nature, this very old, ancient form of writing. Most of them have been obliterated by time or by the careless excavation that's been done here. You can see where probably the use of magic such as mold earth has been used to shift the earth away, but it hasn't been particularly gentle. Looking around the edge of the shaft, this massive pit, you can actually see what looks to be these large vertical grooves on the east and west sides of the shaft itself, almost like this rectangular groove. Clearly designed, but partially eroded over time.
So, I guess the question is, like, how much writing does it actually look like there is?
It looks like there's a fair bit. It's hard to know what is writing and what is sort of pictographic or representational. It's kind of a mix of both. There's sections where what look to be carved reliefs are positioned that depict these very elongated, lanky forms, and then sections that are much more text. But yeah, it's mostly concentrated around the south.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast the light cantrip on Sova, like one of her feathers.
Yep.
I'm going to send Sova down there. I'm going to get my notepad out and start scribbling notes, because I can then use my action to look through her eyes, light cantrip. I get a great vision of the thing. Even though I can't myself like read the language, I can illustrate it the best I can to then show. I think Tetra might know Primordial, or we can show someone else who does.
And how far?
Every night.
How far do you need to go to continue to see through Sova's eyes? How far can you go?
Let's have a look. I think it's
because the writing's on the outside more than it is on the inside.
So 100
So you wouldn't
feet.
need to, if you're looking to just sort of transcribe the writing, you can read that from the outside wall. If you're looking to send Sova down to explore the pit, that's where you'll be looking through her eyes. But you don't need to look through her eyes to see the writing on the southern wall.
Okay,
it's visible from where you're standing.
Okay, that's cool. I will send Sova down at least to 100 feet to see if there's any more writings or other sigils or markings.
Yeah, as you send Sova down, the shaft continues for 100 feet into darkness. Only darkness is visible below, and 100 feet away, the small opening, or I should say the large opening at the top, looks much smaller than it did a moment ago. Before Sova turns around and begins laboriously flying back up the large open shaft.
Is there anything of note on the ceiling above us? Like no sort of rig or anything that would have, like, you know, for a mine cart or elevator?
Interestingly, it looks like the roof, if there was an original part of this building, hasn't been fully excavated. It's still filled with mud and silt and stone in here. The roof itself looks to be the natural wall of the cave, which kind of tells you that they haven't finished excavating up high enough. But judging by the walls that are visible and that they disappear into the roof, you get the sense that probably there is a roof, maybe another 20 feet above the actual cavern roof as it stands now. This room looks like it was once quite enormous. The roof that you're in right now is only about 8 feet high. They haven't excavated much at all of the roof.
When you say mud and silt, is it sort of like mostly
packed
rock?
Clay. Yeah, like packed clay and rock.
Like something that would be like washed away with the sharp blast of water, maybe? Like a cannon of water?
Sharp blast of water might be a bit tough. Definitely. I mean, you could probably wash away some of the... just a heads up, though, this is going to take some time. Like, if you're going to be trying to wash away the roof to try and see what's underneath it, this could take hours of applying pressure hose to it, let alone...
We find villages, if, you know, it takes our fancy and there's something of relevance down there. We'll figure it out later. But I can always just uncork this and just kind of fire it at it.
Only other thing I will add, Niles, with your perception check of 18, the passageway that leads to the north does seem to sort of head straight up towards the north, and you can hear the sound of gurgling water coming from up that way. But interestingly, from where you're standing, it almost looks like a section of the wall caves in a little bit to the south.
Oh, is this in the room that I'm in now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ping it for you. I will ping it for you on Zimmer. Looks like a section of the wall actually caves in right near where Harry is standing. In fact, there's almost like an indentation in the wall.
Oh yeah, okay.
Is there? Can Harry tell there's a mechanism in it, or is it just like a natural cave-in?
Harry, do you want to make me an investigation check or perception check, your choice?
Is there any way I can assist? Because I've already kind of spotted it. Yeah.
That's
natural 20. I don't think he needs it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Harry.
I guarantee you, I'm like, oh, well, oh, you've got this. Okay.
Harry, as you look over and begin investigating, this is definitely not a natural cave-in at all. In fact, as you examine this and begin poking around, you're not even sure that this is real. In fact, as you begin pushing up against it, realizing that this is... The surface is too regular, it's too repeating, almost like a texture that's been overlaid on top of each other to form a full wall. And as you press your hands against it with the knowledge that this probably isn't real, you watch as the illusion resists for a moment, and then your hand pushes through. From everyone else's perspective, you watch as Harry presses up against this rock, this stone wall, puts his face against it, listens for a moment, and then as he presses his hand in, the edges pixelate and fragment around his hand.
Whoa.
Almost looks like they're coating his hand in this soft greenish blue light as he pushes through. Harry, as you do and step through into the rock itself, inside you can see this lattice work of lines made of light, creating the outline of a stone. And as you step through, the room beyond is revealed. The stone actually crumbling away into these like motes of light that disappear.
Ooh.
Inside the room, you can see a lantern, not glowing with flame, but a yellow crystal, almost shaped like a cut piece of amber, glowing with this soft yellow light. And inside are what look to be 3 chests, as well as some urns and vessels.
I look at the crystal lamp and I'm like, oh, Tetra's going to be so upset she missed this. And we should take it for her.
Yeah, we can always take it for her.
Mm-hmm. She'll love this.
I was gonna say, are they the
yeah.
same crystals? Like,
No, these look very different. This almost looks like a very natural, smooth piece of amber that's been cut very specifically into this, what looks to be a 6-sided teardrop shape that's glowing softly with light. It's just sitting inside this sort of stone bracket that is
it
currently
floating?
holding. No,
Or is
it
it-
is sitting with the top and bottom held in place by these
Okay.
small sections of metal.
Niles will just pick it up.
Yeah, as you remove it, Niles, it doesn't lose any brightness as you turn it around your hands. It's roughly the size of a can. It's probably about like 20 centimeters long, about 5 centimeters in diameter. This very smooth crystal, actually quite warm to the touch as you grab it, Niles, and it glows softly. This sort of very faint glow that pulses every so often.
Not that Niles is very proficient in knowing the craftsmanship of such a lamp, but would it ring any bells at all as to like the make of it? Is it like,
Would you like to make an Arcana or History check for me, please?
they're both -1. Let's do a history check.
18.
18, not bad.
Niles, there's legends of special magic items and creations that have been told throughout various locations. There's many tales of various magic items. Fires that can never be put out, everlasting fires. Bubbles that can never be popped. There's these sort of wondrous eternal items. Interestingly, one of the stories that you have heard, probably among the Aarakocra messenger guilds, I would say, is the story of glowing stars that fall to Earth every so often, that fall to the planet, that maintain their glow, sometimes for centuries, shards of which can be carefully hacked off and kept. They're quite rare. A number of these shooting stars fragment as they enter the atmosphere and end up just burning away into nothing, but the few that make it to the surface, those are used to create light stones.
Oh,
Stones
that's cool.
that, in some cases, some have never stopped glowing.
Wow. I get really excited. You see Niles' like plumage kind of like go up on edge. He's like, "Whoa, I've heard stories of these. This might be a light stone. Oh, how rare."
And there's 3 more chests as well. Can Harry, well, first of all, 2 questions.
Hello.
The stone behind us.
Yes. It fragments
Is it
and
like
disappears into nothingness now that you've stepped.
okay.
From the outside, it looks like it is an open hallway, so people can see
Yeah,
it. So they can
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there any traps or anything suspicious in the room other than the 3 chests?
Would you like to make a perception or investigation check?
Yes, I would love to help on this as well.
I was going to say I'd probably help if I wasn't already looking at
No,
it.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
I think we need
Natural
help.
20 from Harry.
Harry is correct. He's just like, treasure.
Harry, do you
treasure.
know what Harry is?
Harry feels really pressured after screwing up the tying the knots the first time. So
Do you know what I've just realized?
Happy.
Harry is the new Azure. You know how in Tyranny of Dragons, Azure never rolled below an 18 on perception checks? Harry's the new Azure. It just never rolls below an 18 for perception.
Wow.
Harry, as you look into the room, it doesn't look like there's any traps. You can see that 2 of the chests do appear to have no hinge, no opening, no seams or cracks in them of any kind. But the chest that's closest to you, you can actually see it's partially cracked open. Even though at a first glance they appear to be made of wood, they're actually not at all. They're almost made of this very beautifully carved stone that has been so cleverly carved in such a way that it looks like grains of wood. You can even see sections where it looks like seams have been carved into the wood. Whoever did this devoted a huge amount of time, care, and attention to these. It's a beautiful piece of
all
art.
3, is it?
All 3. Yeah, they're not actually made of wood at all. It's a type of stone that has these like veins running through it that have been very carefully carved and worked to look like wood, but it's not at all. All three are made of stone. One of them is slightly cracked, the one that's closest to you, and looks like it's it could be potentially broken open.
But the other two don't look like they could be opened.
No seams that you can see of any kind, even with your natural 20. For a total of 25, it looks like one smooth, completely solid piece of stone that's been carved to look like a chest.
Hey Niles, do you think these could fit in your bag of holding?
DM, does it look like these chests can be held in my bag of holding?
With a lot of effort, because the problem is, right, how
They're
big
pretty
is the
heavy,
opening?
right?
And the other thing I'm thinking is, how big is the opening of the bag of holding?
Yeah,
How wide can you open it? I think this might be a bit of a stretch.
I'm thinking
Bag
too. It might
of-
be.
A bit of a stretch.
Oh,
exactly.
Good one, DM.
Wow.
Let's have a quick
I'm
look.
flattering you.
2 feet in diameter.
No way.
That's pretty narrow.
2 feet. 2 feet diameter is pretty big, though. That's like 24
Yeah,
inches.
these are like big chests, though, right?
These are large carved chests. They're like, they're a bit bigger than 2 feet in diameter.
Do you guys think we should open the one that looks like it can be opened?
Just before we do, I am just a little bit concerned. Why would someone go to that much trouble and effort to make chests out of stone to make them look like they're made out of wood when you could just make them out of wood to begin with? The only thing that I can think of is that stone doesn't catch fire on fire like wood does.
Oh, maybe there's a secret mechanism.
What I suggest is, let us have we can unlock them however we need to, but when they need to actually be opened, I can yet again use my mage hand from a safe distance to open them, just in case anything goes astray.
Niles would like to look over one of the stone chests that doesn't look like it has an apparent seam.
Yeah.
And he's going to specifically look for. He's gonna after Krasus has said that with the mage hand thing.
Yep.
He's not going to use his hands, but he's just going to look at it very carefully. But he's specifically looking for any sorts of something that he could those puzzle boxes that are they look like they've got no seam on them, but there's always a little
catch or a release or
a
button or a lever. Yeah. Would you like to roll an investigation then? That sounds more interesting.
Sure.
Can Harry help? Because he's
Harry can help with
investigating
this.
too.
With your natural 20, Harry's already helping, don't worry.
Oh yeah.
And it makes sense. We're all
That's
there
a
as
one.
well.
That's a 1.
Thank God we did
And then
Natural 20, 19.
That's me.
Hey!
Oh
Hey,
my
wait! You
God.
know what? It's funnier. It's funnier that Dave helped as well. So.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's yet again had his hands in another
So,
net 20.
That's Harry's hand in it.
Niles is looking around, not even looking at the box, and Harry's yeah, maybe. And I'm
I think Dave got in contact with Roll20 and gave a bit of
Yeah,
money to
you've been
someone
bribing
tonight.
him, Dave.
Yeah, I used the Games Pass.
Oh, no.
sponsorship.
Stop spruiking Games Pass. I genuinely am starting to think they're sponsoring you, or that they've indoctrinated you into some weird pyramid scheme. It's one or the other. Niles, as you look over the chests, there must be a way to open these. That your very thorough investigation reveals nothing physical that you can see.
Oh.
The only avenue left in your mind after really carefully looking over these and gently sort of... I'd say that Niles maybe has a bit of an interest in puzzle boxes. That kind of would make sense that Niles...
Yeah.
And so you kind of know what you're looking for. And maybe one of the tests in your monk training to help train patience and wisdom and careful observation was you were handed a puzzle box by your sifu, by your teacher, and told when you can open this, you can move on to the next stage of your training.
I tested them of mental integrity.
Yeah, a test of your mental resilience and fortitude as well, and your creative thinking. And sure enough, after some time and contemplation, you were able to open that puzzle box and move on. You don't think there's something physical that needs to be done with these. And as you finish looking over them, there's something else here. Maybe something involving magic, maybe something involving I mean, you've heard of items that require a command word to open. It could be something like that. It could be something that requires a specific word, a specific action. There are some items you've even heard require a specific touch. Someone specific to place their hand upon them to allow them to open.
Can Harry place the stone in his hand on the chest?
Yeah, I was gonna do the same
light
thing.
stone?
Yeah. Harry wants to place the stone in his hand.
Oh, the stone on the back of your hand, the embedded crystal.
Oh,
the embedded mechanism.
that's cool.
Yeah, okay. Harry, as you press it to the chest, we're going to roll a percentile dice to see if this works.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a D100.
So just that the room catches
D100,
fire.
please.
Everything
And roll
blows up.
20, I guess.
Yeah, just do it through roll 20. If you go to the left-hand side, the dice icon.
That is a 19.
Harry.
That sounds good.
As you press your hand to the chest, and then lift your hand up, and then press your hand to the chest again, nothing seems to happen.
Niles is going to look at the light stone that he has, and he's going to place the light stone in close proximity to the chest and see if that does anything.
Are you touching it to the chest or just holding it near the chest?
I was going to touch it to the chest.
Cool.
Oh, you know what? Saying you thinking with this.
Yeah.
How about we stand back and I'll use my again.
Use your mage hand. Oh yes. Very good.
You don't have to be in contact with this.
I'm a little bit like I'm like okay. I hand the light stone over to Krasus's mage hand, and I take a couple of steps back away from the chest.
Krasus, you mage hand the light gem over. Which chest are you touching it to? The two that are sealed, or the one that's slightly closer to you that it seems to be cracked open slightly?
Which one do we think, Tim?
Why not do both? One after the other.
Niles is probably invested in this sealed chest, honestly.
Okay, let's try this one of the sealed chests then. I guess either one. We don't really have a particular one we want.
You bring the light stone over, touches the top of the chest with a very slight ding. Nothing happens.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
Try the other one.
That would have been a bit easy for me to give you the key on a pedestal next to the chests.
Well, I mean, maybe someone left in a hurry and left the key like there.
Maybe.
Could you give your mage hand the burnt crystals that you took off Melania?
We could try that. So I guess I'll do the burnt crystal. I'll do the crystal fragments in my mage hand. Try them, and then go to the arcane focus too.
Arcane focus. Ding. Nothing happens.
Go on.
No, you go, Harry.
Harry kicks the cracked one.
Kick it.
Oh.
Yeah.
How hard are you kicking it?
Harry is barefoot, so he's going to kick it with the inside of his foot. Quite hard, but not enough to break his foot.
Could you please roll me a unarmed strike, please, Harry? And roll damage. Turn to violence quickly. 13. I mean, yeah. How is it 0?
You have a -1 to your strength.
That's hilarious.
0 as well. It just says to hit +1 damage 0.
Yeah, because
It goes on strength.
as you yeah, because you've got strength. That's amazing.
Oh, bludgeoning damage equals 1 plus your strength modifier. I see.
I love chat's gone Dave is Vigo, but for D&D. Not even Viggo Mortensen, because Viggo Mortensen at least kicked the item and it sailed away in Lord of the Rings. Harry kicks the chest and it's just this like thunk, and nothing happens. So you look down.
I look at Harry kicking the chest and I'm like, no. You gotta put yourself into it, see? Watch this. And I will kick the chest.
Okay. Unarmed strike, please. This is gonna be brutal. Yeah, show off.
I might break my foot, but hey, let's
Natural one. 18. Roll some damage. 6. Alrighty. As you kick at the lid of the chest, with this sudden crack, it splits open, falling backwards and shattering on the floor into what looks to be probably 40, 50 tiny pieces of shattered stone.
Oh, wow.
As you peer inside the chest, you see items wrapped in what looks to be this very finely made cloth. Niles, could you please roll me? There's a couple of dice you're going to be rolling. First, I need you to roll me a D8.
D8?
D8. Three. There are 3 items inside the chest wrapped in cloth.
Well, it could have been 8.
Could have been 8, but it's not.
Fuck.
Niles,
Cool.
Niles,
Yep.
could you please now roll me a D6?
Yep. Okay. 6.
6. Could you roll me another D6, please?
1.
1. And 1 more D6.
3.
Hey!
Another 6. Okay. Here's what's
good.
going to happen. As you look inside, there appear to be, 3 items wrapped in this very beautiful, well-made cloth that kind of hides them from view. But they are sitting in the chest. Hard to know what these items are, just by the cloth wrapped around gives them this amorphous shape.
I'm going to err on caution.
Oh, okay.
Look at Krasus and say,
We all look at Krasus, yeah.
maybe that mage hand, hey?
Everyone just stops and turns and looks at Krasus.
Is that all I am? Just
No,
a
no,
mage hand.
you are an arcane practitioner. We discussed this. You're honing your craft.
I roll my eyes because you're literally just using me for my mage hand. now.
I mean, like, you offered, right?
Niles is like, this is great. This guy's amazing. You're just like, I'm so much
Do
more
it again, the
than
mage hand.
Your mage hand thing.
Is that all I am to you?
This is like the first spell I learned.
I shall use the mage hand yet again.
One day I will be able to
The
reach up
items.
into the sky and pull comets from the stars.
You're that
But
meme.
today-
You're that meme from Rick and Morty where it's like, what is my purpose?
Yeah, you pass butter.
you pass the
You mage
butter.
hand.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I should make that as a meme with Krasus's character art on the face of that robot. I should do that. I will do that in Photoshop for fun. Krasus,
Incredible.
would you like to mage hand off one of the wrapped items? That sounded weird. Would you
I
like
love
to mage
yes.
hand? Alrighty, Krasus, in that case then, could you please roll me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could you please roll me a D100
Ooh.
as you are the one pulling this open?
32.
32. Krasus, as you reach in and lift up the section of cloth that is keeping this hidden, inside you can see that there is what looks to be a glass vial, carefully wrapped up and kept in a very tightly bound section of cloth. And as you pull open the cloth and reveal this potion, you can see that an eyeball, this sort of almost like ghostly, partly see-through eyeball, bobs in this yellowish green liquid.
Tasty.
Delicious.
Gross.
Do we know anything
Seeing-
about missing an eye?
Yeah.
Is it looking at us?
It doesn't seem to be
move
looking at
around?
you. It seems to sort of be looking around in this very like consistent circular pattern.
Seeing that nothing went wrong picking up the item, I think at this point Niles will probably pick up one of the items as well.
Niles, could you please roll me a D100?
Excellent. Hey, 88.
I will reveal to chat right now. I am not giving them an Eye of Vecna. Level 3. It's not the Eye
That
of
would be a
Vecna.
bit railroady.
It's not the Eye of Vecna. I am happy to reveal. I'm sorry. I'm happy
But
to
this
reveal.
is the hand of Vecna.
Yeah, but this is as you-
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what though? It's almost as fucking bad.
Oh, what?
Niles,
What?
88. Are you sure it's 88? Do you want to re-roll that for me?
Pretty sure it's 88.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna
Do you wanna
try
re-roll?
No.
It's an 88, man.
Give it a re-roll. Just give it a re-roll.
Are you sure? Okay, fine.
No. I have to commit to this.
Gotta commit
Niles,
to it.
as you pull open the cloth, you reveal a small hessian bag marked with what looks to be these swirling, almost like vine-like symbols around it. Could you roll 3d4 for me?
I know what this is.
Could you roll 3d4 for me, please?
Yep. 3d4?
3d4.
Oh, man. You guys.
5.
5.
As you open it up and look inside, there appear to be what look to be 5 small dry beans.
Oh, it's a bag of
Fuck
beans.
me.
Not again!
Not again!
I was like,
Hold on.
What a
I'm gonna-
convenient number.
I was like, I never do random. I never do like the DMG guide random magic item table. I thought, you know what? Hey, it's level 3. I know I normally am quite generous with magic items. Why don't I go off the DMG random magic item
What
table?
have you done?
What have I wrought? This is
What are these beans?
Mommy
do?
Lord.
Oh, mate.
Mommy Lord.
Bag of beans. Bag of beans is how you TPK a party.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Or TPK a city, if you
Or
want to.
TPK a city if you're not
What
careful.
are the beans?
Or unlucky.
Or get a wish spell.
No, I don't think you get a wish spell from a bag of
Nah.
beans. These aren't the same as the magic beans. These aren't my homebrew magic beans. This is
okay.
the
The beans
actual.
are-
Oh, yeah, no, this isn't the beans that give us little abilities.
No,
It's
this
the beans
is-
that can do things like summon
Yeah.
an ancient treant and stuff.
Yeah,
Me
so there's...
and Owen, I think Owen, we had
Yep.
a bag of beans once, and
We
we
had a bag of
completely
beans.
destroyed a 3-leveled boat, like that was also like a bar.
We
for
also
the Sentinel
accidentally
learners.
summoned a boulette one time when we
No,
were
we did it
players
all at once.
with a bag of beans. Yeah,
We
had
did
some
like we did like 3 or 4 beans at
Yeah.
once. Where we got the bull ant,
got
we got
the-
the treant, but he was enraged instead of being like good. So he did
Yep.
massive damage to structural
Yep.
things.
Oh,
and we
good.
were in a boat that was a bar.
yeah, it
So
was
that
terrible.
ruined it. And there was a few other things that popped up too.
Yeah,
It was,
so if you
bullet
roll
came up.
high, if you roll high on a magic bean table, I think if you get like a 90 plus, there's a chance that you summon a pyramid with a mummy lord inside.
Yep. There's also one
Yep.
where you can permanently lower one of your ability scores or permanently increase one of your ability scores. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. You should have led with that as well.
Sorry, no,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's a
You can
good roll.
permanently increase them, but you have to make a Constitution saving throw or take 10d6 force damage.
Oh, that's fun.
So,
and that won't
bag
kill
of
us.
beans. Bag of beans.
Don't do that. It won't kill us.
Not good.
10d6 would at this point, but
Yes.
No,
yeah.
it'll knock us out. I don't think.
No,
it's
10d6
gonna-
could permanently kill some of the players.
Yeah, we'll have to do that at a later date then.
Yeah. There's
High
still one
level.
more item in the chest. I'm a bit scared.
Well, I've had a roll. Matt's had a roll. I guess one of
Harry?
you guys.
You want to do it, Lyra, or should I?
I was sort of kind standing out of this cave like a giant coward, so I think the last one goes to you by right.
Harry digs his hand and he rummages through the chest.
Harry, could you please roll me a d100? Roll high, my tiny bunny.
Yes, I can. 66.
66.
Ooh.
Harry, as you reach in, it seems like this also is another potion wrapped up very carefully in the cloth. The potion is separated into many layers that resemble bands of stone. Brown, silver, grey, sort of dark black slate. And as you give the bottle a little experimental shake, the layers don't shift or move. They stay separated.
Do you guys want to keep this one in the bag you're holding, or should I put it in my bag?
So I guess I can do a quick check on them. I'm someone who does a lot of stuff with herbalism and alchemy, so
Yeah. Would you like to roll
I
me
can
an
probably have an
Arcana
idea.
check, please,
Yeah.
Krasus? And I'll make the DC
Harry hands it to
easier.
you. He has
given
no
you-
idea. It's not snake oil, so he doesn't know.
It's not snake oil. I only sell potions that don't work. 100% guarantee they don't work. 100% guarantee 0% functionality.
15.
It's more
15, Krasus. You actually are able to identify both of these potions. The layered potion is a potion of climbing. Someone who drinks this gains a climbing speed equal to their walking speed for 1 hour, and they have advantage on athletics checks in terms of climbing. The other potion is a potion of clairvoyance. Anyone who drinks this gains the effect of the clairvoyance spell.
Oh, that's not
cool.
bad. Cool. I think we can probably just put them in the bag of holding for now and use them when we need them.
I'll put these
Yep.
in chat so that you've got.
Yeah,
them.
let me know what they are, and I'll put them in the bag of holding now.
Yep. So potion of climbing and potion of clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance.
There you go.
And then the bag
Been
of
linked
beans.
in the chat.
I can hate bag.
The bag of
Bag
beans.
of beans.
We may as well put them all in the bag of holding. None of these are going to be used like in the spur of the moment. I think we're going to be thinking we're going to have like a plan for each one of these things.
Last minute panic. Throw a bean at the Holy One and see what happens.
Oh my god.
Well, the beans actually need to be planted first
They
before
need
they
to be
get
planted.
used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of these have a stage of planning involved.
Yeah.
So perfect. We'll just chuck them in the bag. It's like a
It
party
is.
wide magic items.
You should try kicking the other one. It was really impressive. I'd say your kick was like infinite times stronger than mine.
Yeah. I surprised myself. Did you see how many splinters it splintered into?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
I mean, in comparison, one looked like a wet noodle, and the other one, well, was quite an astounding force.
It isn't about strength. It's about skill and precision. You need to know where to strike.
I mean, Harry's was precision as well. It's just unfortunate that it hits with the power of a wet noodle.
I'm going to kick the other chests.
Okay. Would you like to make an attack, please?
Yeah.
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 19. Would you like to roll me some damage? 7. Niles, 7 is enough. As you smash into one of the other chests and crack it, there's this sudden glow of red light that comes from within the chest, and then this sound of... And then as the chest cracks open, you watch as this fine black ash begins spilling out of the chest.
Oh, I cover my mouth and I take a couple of steps back and I'm like, oh, that wasn't good. Uh-oh.
Do we leave the room, maybe?
I think we should leave the room. I just immediately start backing out.
As I'm backing out, because I don't know how long that is going to stay there for. It might just stay there permanently, I'm not sure. I'm going to quickly try and just grab an item from the chest with a mage hand, just in case we can't go back in there. If there is anything in there to begin with.
As you reach in with the mage hand, it comes out holding a fistful of black ash that tumbles through the fingers of the mage hand. It looks like whatever was in that chest.
Because we kicked it.
Oh, it exploded. It was rigged.
Well,
I was worried that it was someone's ashes and you just broke open the urn.
Well, I mean, we got some cool things, but yeah, sucks for whoever owns that chest, I guess.
Yep. Well, I mean, like, I'm sure they didn't want it. I mean, there's only bid people in here anyway, right?
Yeah. It's not like it belongs to any of the villages or anything.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Oh,
Too late.
yes, no
Hey,
problem.
look at this land.
No point dwelling on it. Let's just let's leave that behind us and move forward, I
let's go.
guess.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Put this over the chest so that you can see it's been destroyed.
We can always come back and have a look at the other chest that's sealed, in case we find anything that could open it, and dream about what was in that chest.
Dave, what did you get?
For what?
From the chest. I'm just trying to figure out what we got.
It was either the
It's-
clairvoyance or
it's
the
in
climbing. I'm sure.
Oh, cool. So just those three. Yeah. Sweet.
Just out of interest, because it's quite fun for me, do you want to quickly roll a d8 to see how many items were in that chest?
Oh.
No.
No.
Shall I roll it for you?
Yeah. Damn roll.
I'd rather just not know what was in there.
Yeah.
I
Headset off for a minute.
It's a 2. It's fine.
Cool.
It's fine.
Cool.
Dave actually took his headphones off.
Wow.
That doesn't help though. It's a very visual thing, the 2 that pops up in the bottom.
I didn't see anything or hear it. Oh, now I see it. That's all I
It's
do.
It's fun.
Sorry about that.
Well,
That's a real shame.
Oh.
no other secret passages in that room, right? That we
No,
could
not with
know.
2 characters who rolled a nat 20 for perception and investigation checks. I would have revealed it. Nothing else in that room.
Yeah.
The only other thing of note is the what looks to be almost like an old throne, almost like an old pedestal of some sorts, decked out with this sort of red plush material. And at its feet is a broken open section of metal plating. Probably was once part of the seat itself, but has been snapped off. Looks like part of the roof caved in at some point and collapsed onto this. But with your perception investigation check, nothing interesting going on. Just as some set dressing for you.
Cool.
We're going to take
Alright.
this north path or that north path?
The north one.
I say we keep going.
Yep.
Just be careful of that big gold hole in the middle of the room. Don't want anyone tumbling in.
What is it as Harry falls in?
Harry, as you begin dropping,
No.
the music changes. There's this sort of flute that starts rising in intensity and crescendos, and then this trumpet.
Red lights.
Yeah. And then below you in the dark, you see these tiny little pinpricks of blue light suddenly appearing before you smash into the dark floor and pancake, and a game over screen appears right in front of you.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Yeah, I guess we'll head north.
Perfect. As you guys begin moving through the tunnel to the north on the other side of this large open pit, the tunnel itself seems to have been rather hastily carved. This section almost seeming like it has been done much more roughly and with a lot less care than part of the other tunnel and excavation. And as you move forward down the narrow corridor, you soon find yourselves at what looks to be a small T intersection, a pathway leading towards the west and a pathway leading towards the east. The pathway to the west seems to be partly lit. In fact, you can see a torch burning in a sconce on a wall. But the pathway to the east is in partial darkness.
West is probably back to the main room, right?
That storage room. But I'm just thinking, are they nice enough to leave the prisoners with light, or would they leave them in the darkness to sort of freak them out?
Well, like,
Depends if they've read the Geneva Convention.
It's hard to say, but what I can do, I can send my familiar 100 feet at least and get a bit more of a reconnaissance.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, great idea.
Saves us getting in the firing line, so to speak.
Yes. So I sort of almost like sit down, legs crossed, close my eyes as I use my action to look through my familiar. So now I guess I'll send him up into this area. So I'll probably just go here for
just
now.
So that you know, Krasus and Niles and Lyra, Harry's already moved right up to the edge of this T intersection.
Oh.
That's all right. Okay, then I can do it. I can do it from here.
You said we reached the intersection, so
Yeah.
I assumed we were there.
I can do it from here, and then what I'll do is I'll move Sova this way and get a bit more of a look.
Sova begins heading towards the east. The pathway actually begins curving back towards the north, much wider for this curve before narrowing again as Sova gets to the edge of that curve and begins looking to the north. Do you want me to give Sova some vision? I just realized Sova might not have vision.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sova vision? Yeah. What's Sova's vision? It'll be a dark vision of some sorts. I'm guessing...
Let's have a look.
Be 30 feet, I imagine, for an owl.
Dark vision, 120 feet.
What?
Makes sense, actually.
It does, yeah, I know. There you go.
Perfect.
As
Okay,
Sova begins heading towards the corridor to the north, through Sova's eyes, you can see the river bending back around, and far towards the north from where you are, a small area lit by what look to be small bonfires on the edge of the river. Sova flies up and gets around the corner. You can see that there is a wooden bridge that has been constructed, fording across this river and leading to another narrow pathway that moves beyond. As Sova gets to this point, emerging from inside the corridor, you see a figure from across the bridge moving up towards the wall sconce on the other side, looking towards the bridge, almost absent-mindedly flicking through a leather-bound tome as they begin looking through it, before sort of stopping there and examining the book quite closely. They then
So I will say as well,
Yep.
just real quick, obviously server's not going to be sitting there like
Out
in the
open,
middle.
yeah.
It'll be almost at the top of the cavern where it sort of can, sort of blend in a little bit more with the darkness.
Yeah, as the figure gets to the edge of the pathway leading towards the bridge, they sort of pause for a moment, look up towards the ceiling as if trying to remember something before they muster under their breath, turn and begin walking back down along the corridor away from the bridge.
I might leave Sova there for now. Put her over here. So, I found the river again. There's a bridge, and I did see on the other side of said bridge a mage, but probably with the bandits.
That's rather annoying.
Where there are bandits, they're probably guarding something. I mean, if it was a, relatively useless storage alongside the fast way to get there, that's probably full of traps. That's probably where we're aiming, yeah?
Yeah. If we've met some resistance, it means perhaps Lyra's right.
Well,
Yeah, I probably agree.
perfect.
But we should be stealthy.
And safe.
Ah.
Just nod my head. I'm gonna walk
Right.
through.
Yep.
I'm gonna get sort of like just around this corner, Owen. So I'm just tucked out of sight. And yet again, I can send Sova into scout.
Yep.
Cool.
As Sova begins flying through the narrow corridor, the roof drops quite rapidly. This large open cavern here giving way to a much narrower, smaller corridor. The roof only about 8 feet tall. Quite a low-roofed area for the inside of this corridor. And as Sova begins sort of moving through, you can see that mage from before, the figure with the book, dressed in very similar robes to Melania, walking very slowly back along the corridor, occasionally sort of stopping, taking a moment, pulling open the book, checking something, and then continually walking towards. Beyond, you can see a much larger room. Another mage, this one a fire Genasi, focused, their hood back, flaming hair, rippling quietly and softly with this dark red ember flame, staring at something in the middle of the room. It looks like there are a series of torches illuminating this room beyond, but what they're looking at, it's hard to see from that angle. The other thing Sova can see is the pathway actually does split off this main avenue downway. Actually towards the northwest, there is a corridor that splits off from it. And with Sova's keen hearing, you can hear the sound of a voice echoing from the corridor above.
As we are approaching this larger cavern, is the roof still quite low at this point, or is it only in the path that we're in?
The pathway beyond. So where you guys are now, the roof is still quite high. It gets much narrower as you cross the bridge and begin heading further towards the north.
Oh, okay. Cool. So the bigger, the area that we're about to walk into is got a...
Yep, exactly.
Lugger. Okay.
Alright, so what I'll do is I'll pop out a Sova, and then I'll do a minor illusion of the room and the bandits, so everyone can have a look at it from a picture sense.
Don't think there's any...
So,
I don't think there's a... Yeah.
What of our options? What are we going to do?
Well, we could try and take them out quietly. It didn't really work last time. And there's less of us now, so yeah, I'm not sure.
I guess it's sort of going to be one of two probable options. I mean, the first one is that, whatever they seem to be looking at, they're either focusing on someone being sacrificed or their vessel being cracked open, or it's the Holy One doing some sort of holy thing, but one of them we need to stop as soon as we can, and the other one we don't want to get anywhere near.
Yes. I was hoping I could fly out of sight, but it looks like this cave might be a little hard for that. Should we just observe and see if they sort of separate a little bit more, or try and take one out quietly? Might be a little hard.
How strong is the current of the river?
It looks to be quite strong. Despite the very clear water, you can see the bottom is very far away. The river here actually grows quite deep, and there are jagged stones jutting up from both the floor and the roof of the cave, stalagmites and stalactites.
Okay, so it looks like a body could float down this river.
Yes, it does. And you
Throw
guys
him
are
in the water.
downriver from where you were before.
Cool.
So like maybe I could like make a distraction, and if one of you want to push it into the water, the fire Genasi probably wouldn't like that, eh?
I wonder what would happen if I put the bag of holding over someone's head.
They'd suffocate, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They eventually suffocate, yeah.
Hmm. I'm not the bad guy.
I'm not wanting to keep pulling out the mage hand sort of thing, but would that fire Genasi be close enough to the edge that you could just kind of like tie his shoelaces together on?
I don't think you can push people with mage hand.
Tell you what.
Other than that, maybe one of us could just run up there really quickly and just nudge him into the water. Real quick, like.
I mean,
Well, I could stealth him, and I could stealth up, and like, if you use mage hand or something to put like. So the fire Genasi is back towards us or front towards us?
From what Sova is showing you, it looks like both of the fire mages are looking into the room. Their backs to the corridor.
you know what I could do? I heard Melania's voice before. I could do a minor illusion of her muttering a sentence, asking them to come to this very bridge. Then we can push them off.
They see us.
Because it says here, I can create a sound. Its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. It can be your voice, someone else's voice.
No.
So I can literally, because I heard Melania quite a bit. I can mimic it with, like, it can actually just sort of be someone else's voice, the minor illusion. So I don't know if I need to mimic it or anything like that, but I think I could just be like, get in here now, or something along those lines, something that's pretty quick, and in Melania's sort of range and voice, and hopefully they'll come running, and then you guys get ready to push them in.
Yeah, I mean, I could stand out the front as a distraction, just mime as you do the voicing.
Well, either way, as long as we get them sorted to the bridge, it's all that really matters.
Yeah, but none of us are particularly strong to like shove them either.
Yeah.
Like, we could get thrown off the bridge.
Depends on how you push them. If you use your skills of acrobatics, you may be able to sort of do a movement that uses more their own momentum sort of thing, instead of you having to just push them with your strength.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I didn't realize you were a master of the martial arts there as well, Krasus.
I do have a +3 in Dex, actually.
Tell you what.
He's right, though.
Do you guys want to have a little bit of a think about your plan? I'm just thinking this could be a good place to wrap up for tonight. We're almost exactly at 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
While we're also down Claire and Michael, this could potentially be a good place for me to bring in our new cast member next week as well. And we also have I didn't mention this before, but we have a chat summoned NPC. Bryn Brassax has summoned Balthazar, an NPC that some of you are familiar with, a very helpful old wizard who was summoned in during the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, who has been resummoned. I've been looking out for a good place to bring him in tonight that makes sense. We haven't had it yet, but if I bring him in next session with the guest character, with the character, this could work quite well. So I'm thinking maybe this is a good place to wrap up for tonight, and that way I can bring the NPC and the new PC in at the exact same time. In a way that makes sense. I might do that. So I think what we'll do, while you guys are still also, and that gives you a week of out of game time to plan what you're going to do. Perfect. Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think this works out really, really well because I really want to make sure we can get Balthazar in beautifully. Yeah. So I think this is the easiest way to get Balthazar in the NPC and also get our new player character in. I think this makes the most sense. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I know a slightly shorter session tonight. Not by that much, actually. We just hit 2 hours then, so not that much shorter. But we will be back again next Wednesday with more Return of the Giants, and we will have our new player character and our chat-summoned NPC. Remember, if you're watching us live on Twitch, you can earn channel points, which you can then spend to create all sorts of fun things. There's a new option that is going to be added to the chat point allocation, and that is a what I'm not calling it a wild magic surge, but I'm calling it a magical mishap, where you can spend channel points to have the magic not backfire, but go a bit odd. And I've got a table for that now as well. So I'll finish getting that all balanced. I just want to make sure it's not too disruptive, and I need to figure out exactly how much I'm going to charge for it in the channel points, but that will be coming not too far in the future as well. So if you're joining us live, there's some bonuses and some benefits, not just advantage and disadvantage, but monsters, NPCs, and now magical mishaps. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It's been lovely having you all here. We will see you all again really, really soon. Remember, Curse of Strahd on Monday nights live, Tyranny of Dragons, Avatar Legends, Embers of War on Tuesday nights live, and Return of the Giants on Wednesday night. And each episode will be dropping on the podcast platforms and YouTube channels on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Monday for Return of the Giants, Wednesday for Curse of Strahd, and Fridays for Avatar Legends. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again really, really soon. But until then, farewell, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you guys.